Well, a pretty big milestone has been hit recently. 200,000 subscribers is frankly unreal. Ever since I hit 100k around the end of 2022, this has been something that's been on my horizon, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I never expected to make it this far, although I guess with YouTube there always is some uncertainty, but overall being able to get 100k subscribers in the span of about a year and a half has been amazing, and although it's not the fastest growing channel on the entire platform, I am still very thankful to everyone that supported me, and I've been very happy with the speed of the growth that I've been getting. So this video has 3 reasons for existing. I'm not just making this because I'm bored, although that is a probably major contributor. The first of which is just to say thanks. I know a lot of YouTubers say this, and it's kind of cliche, and I've also never really been on board with thanking people for subscribing. Like, obviously you're not just clicking on all my videos out of charity. There's something that I'm providing that's entertaining enough for you to want to come back, otherwise you just wouldn't watch it. I understand your time is more valuable than doing stuff because you feel bad for me, but even despite the creator-viewer relationship being mostly transactional, I have still been very thankful that people have stuck around, and not only stuck around, but also sometimes gone out of their way, whether that's financially, supporting me on Patreon and stuff like that, even just leaving a kind comment every once in a while, or joining a live stream that you may not think you'll enjoy and sticking around for a bit. I really do appreciate that sort of thing, and it does give me a lot of motivation to keep going as a creator, and again, to the people that have supported financially, you've helped me in more ways than you can realize. So now that the sappy stuff is out of the way, the second reason that I'm making this video is to talk about some plans that are coming up in the next year or two with my channel. There's a lot of stuff that I anticipate changing, either in minor or major ways, that I just want to keep people in the loop on. I know that probably not every one of the 200k subscribers are like that invested in what I'm doing, they just watch stuff as it comes up, but for those who are, which I'm guessing includes most of you watching this video, I feel like making sure all cards are on the table only makes it fair so you know what to expect from me. And one of the biggest changes coming up probably pretty soon is that I'm going to dramatically scale back the amount of analytical stuff that I'm doing in favor of making videos oriented with doing stuff with friends. The main reason why I'm doing that is because, number one, I'm just kind of running low on ideas. You can probably take a look at some of the recent, like, what-if videos that I've done and realize, like, yeah, these just aren't as great conceptually as what they were when they first started. And with some exceptions, obviously, I think the headshots video was a good standout, but I kind of agree that, yes, the things that I'm coming up with and the ideas that I would like to explore just aren't as inherently interesting as the stuff that I was doing when that series first started back in, like, 2022. That's not to say that I'm completely out of ideas. There are some things that I would still like to do, but the other reason why I'm scaling them back is because the ideas that I have left that I am excited about doing and that I think would be interesting, I want to actually be able to test, and testing those ideas adds a lot more stages to production that, I mean, do constitute some amount of time. I think the difference is I can probably knock out a normal what-if video, or I guess ones without testing, in about 2 weeks or so if I'm quick about it. And then the ones where there is testing, I mean, obviously I have to run an experiment that takes some amount of time. So even if I only do that for 2 weeks, that's just, again, 2 more weeks onto the cycle that I can't really ignore. So usually that's like a month or 2 in the making. I think the headshots video I started in, like, October and got out around Christmas time. So that's about the length of one of those. But that does make it challenging, because if I were to do those on a regular basis, I just don't know where there would be time for anything else. And it seems, just based on the metrics and also, like, reactions for the videos that I've been putting out, people like the stuff with friends more. So I want to make sure my time is going into the things that the people are actually interested in, and more importantly, the things that I'm interested in, because, I don't know, I've just been getting burnt out of the what-ifs in general. So again, that's not to say that I'm going to stop making what-if videos and, like, the analytical ones altogether, but it is to say that I'm going to focus more on the ideas that I think are actually interesting and worth exploring, and not do as many, I guess, filler videos, if you want to call them that. Oh, the other thing that I should mention too is I'm probably going to scale back the amount of opinionated takes that I have on this channel, mainly because I've come to realize the way that I think about TF2 and the way that I, like, process game balance and stuff is just way different than a lot of other people in the community. And while that's not an inherently bad thing, I do think even if my takes are generally disagreeable to the average player, I would still want to get them out there had it not been for the fact that I do need to remember the community that I make content for. In the TF2 community, you do not want to be known as the bad takes guy. You want to know who is known as the bad takes guy? Zesty Jesus. And although I will not state any opinions about Zesty Jesus in this video because I don't really have any, what I will say is that I understand getting that reputation is a very quick way to just be the subject of ridicule in the community, and I don't think dying on the hill of I think the Southern hospitality should have increased melee range is a great reason to do that. So overall, I'm probably just going to scale back the amount of opinionated stuff, focus on the light and fluffy stuff, just because, again, the way that I think about TF2 and the way that your average person does are way different. And even if I will confidently say that, yes, I've probably put more thought into it than your average person will. Again, ultimately, this is a community filled with more people than myself, and I do need to keep that in mind as I throw those takes out there for public consumption. So with that all said, let me very quickly go over the next 5 videos that I'm working on, just so you have a better idea of what to expect. I did say I'm switching stuff up, so this is exactly how. I don't normally like to do this, mainly because there's a pretty good chance I will find some other random interesting topic or have some idea at 3 a.m. that'll trump everything that I'm currently working on, and it'll screw up the upload schedule. But in this case, this is just what I've been working on, so you know. The next video that I'll be putting out will probably be a follow-up to the MGE edit series. I probably will do more episodes of that. It was a lot of fun the first time. People really seemed to like it, and it's fairly easy to do as long as I am able to actually edit the maps. So that'll be the next one. It should be the same people, and I'm not going to change the rules much at all because I think we've only scratched the surface of all the fun stuff you can add. I don't want to completely vary stuff up until we've run out of ideas, until the meta's been settled. After that, I have been working on an escape room for a pretty long time. I wasn't going to do 2 stuff with friends videos back to back, but there's just reasons why I have to do it that way, mainly because I'm excited to get them both out, but some other reasons as well. After that, I've been working on a dissection of TF2's scoreboard system and what actually awards points in the game. It sounds kind of lame, but it'll just be a quick video that I think is interesting enough. I've had a lot of fun working on it so far, so hopefully that is not too stupid or too pointless. After that will probably be hide and seek. I've also been working on a bunch of hide and seek maps recently. I've integrated full hide and seek logic into the older maps that I've already made. I have to re-render them. They're not very well optimized, so I basically have to let each one run overnight. It's a horrible scenario. You never want to be doing that as a map maker, but I didn't make these maps, to be fair. I only edited them. But yeah, we have 5 new maps done. Most of them are actually brand new maps from either last summer or from the Christmas update this year, or I guess last year it would have been. So that will be a lot of fun. And then after that will probably be a medieval mode tier list, although I'm not quite sure I'll even have that one slightly done before the next 5 videos is up. It'll either be that or like I'll test one of my older what if ideas on a server, because we do have a plugin made. So we'll see. After the next 4 videos, it's kind of up in the air. But yeah, anyway, I don't like to talk about the next videos that I'm doing. I like to leave it as a surprise. But in this case, just so you know what to expect, that is the sort of thing that I'm doing. Oh, I should also probably mention, as far as fixing TF2's worst weapons will go, I'm really debating about how I would like to finish that series, because it seems like the interest in it has waned, which is partially my fault. I've been spreading out the uploads over a pretty long period of time, but I guess in my defense, the interest was already waning when I started spreading it out, and that was kind of what made me lose motivation to work on it. So we'll see about how that goes. I'm debating about just remaking most of the videos into one really long video about every single class. I don't know if I will do that, but there are a couple of mistakes that I would like to correct within the first few videos, and yeah, well, I'll see how that goes. That'll probably be like one of the last opinionated videos about TF2 anyway that I do on this channel, so we'll see. But if you have ideas of how to finish that without it being a huge time commitment on my end, I would love to hear them. And I guess this is also a pretty good place to say one thing that's been on my mind but probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, and that is an apology for my upload schedule rapidly decaying over the past several years or so. I really prided myself on my upload schedule for the longest time that I was doing YouTube. I never went more than 2 weeks in a row without putting out a video. But I realized recently, or I guess by recently I mean ever since I hit 100K probably, that upload schedule just doesn't matter as much as quality. And while I don't think that's an excuse to be lazy about putting videos out, I've also realized that just with some of the ideas that I would like to do, specifically with either testing the crazy what-if ideas or with making like entire maps for a video, that it's just not feasible to do the one video every 2 weeks as an upload schedule. The solution that I've often been offered for that is to hire an editor, because that way I can be working on multiple things at the same time. The issue is that I'm very particular about how I like certain aspects of videos edited, whether it's like how I cut between different points of view or what's on the screen at any given time. And I know that inevitably, if I hand off a project to someone else, they're going to make different editing decisions than I would, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but it will perpetually bother me, so I really don't want to do that. I value being able to have full creative control, even if I acknowledge the decisions that I make on a project may not objectively be the best ones. I just think that it's nice to put something out that I can 100% say was completely my own, and if I hired an editor, it, again, would just bother me, even if it would affect output. So unless I can find an editor that will either be very patient and listen to every little micro criticism that I give them, or just intuitively thinks about videos the same way that I do, that's really just not an option for me at the moment. So the last plan that I have for the next year or so, which I think is something that I've brought up every time that I've talked about goals, but I want to stream on a more regular basis. The issue that I've run into, though, is that I'm not really sure how I want to accomplish that. The main thing about streaming that has come to my attention is that there isn't an optimal way to do it in terms of where I stream. If I stream on my main channel, I get the most viewers, and I get people interested who may not otherwise go out of their way to like find a brand new channel or my Twitch or something. But YouTube has a really stupid feature where every time you start streaming, it sends out a notification, and every time you stop streaming and the VOD is published, it sends out a notification. Now, given that's only if you have notifications turned on, but I value the people who do have them turned on enough to where I don't want to annoy them with streaming like Bloons Tower Defense at 3 a.m. or something. However, if I move my streaming over to like Twitch or a different YouTube channel, then I run into the scenario where on top of VODs not being easily as accessible, which I know are something that a lot of people like to watch through, I just don't get as many viewers, and streaming just very quickly becomes not really worth my time. And I don't know how to balance that. I think the best way to do it, strictly speaking, is that I'm going to have to bite the bullet and stream somewhere that I don't get a lot of viewers for a while and just have to build that back up to where my current channel is. But that's also just not very fun. And again, a big influencer of what I do on YouTube in general is whether or not something is fun. And if I get like 2 viewers, I'm just probably not going to see the value in doing so. So I think the solution that I'm leaning toward right now is just making a channel called Great Blue Live or something, so that way I don't have to like manage or re-upload the VODs and they can just stay there. But that's the biggest challenge, I guess, that I'm facing at the moment. And then the last thing that I've considered heavily is that I want to make more use out of my other 2 existing channels that aren't Great Blues. Specifically this one, Blues Stockpile, which I'll probably rename. That's the channel you're on right now. Hello. What I've considered doing with this channel is uploading videos that I would have made like several years ago on my main channel, but I don't think match the quality of my main channel anymore, but I still would like to put out. That's stuff like exploring TF2 community server maps, that's stuff like just playing TF2 in general, like live commentaries, stuff that I don't think would fit on my main channel anymore, but I still find fun. So I don't know, I've considered just putting them on this channel so that way there aren't as many standards for it. I also want to get more use out of Blues Nest, which is like the hidden third channel not too many people know about, and that one is mainly meant for games that aren't TF2, although we'll get to that in a bit. The games that aren't TF2 challenge is one that I feel like every TF2 YouTuber faces eventually, that I have come face to face with pretty recently, and that is potentially going to be solved by uploading videos onto Blue's Nest. Again, we'll get to that in a little bit though. So sorry if this video has been a little bit rambly up until now. That's just kind of my unfiltered thoughts on where I would like to take stuff in the near future. I'm at a crossroads with a lot of stuff, and I will have to make those sorts of decisions before too long in terms of like what sort of content that I want to upload, whether or not I want to stick with TF2 for a super long time, which I probably will, but we'll see. Whether I want to upload on my second channel or stream or focus on my main one, or where that sort of thing lies. And that's just, again, something that I've been thinking about that I will now burden you all with. So the third reason that I'm doing this video was going to be to talk about the long-term plans for my channel, but I very quickly realized that I'm not really sure where I want to take this channel outside of the next year or two. With hitting 200,000 subscribers, I do have reasonable confidence that I at least have somewhat of what it takes to grow on YouTube outside of like just the TF2 sphere. However, I'm not really sure how or when or if I even want to do that. I do know at the very least that I want to keep making TF2 videos for a pretty long time. I know some people just get completely burnt out from the game and want to branch out, but I'm still having reasonable fun with it. That's partially because I barely even play proper TF2. Most of my current content is based on either what doesn't even exist in game or just making something brand new to make it exist in the game, and not based on like casual or the bot crisis or whatever like most people are currently doing. But at the same time, I mean, that is Team Fortress 2. That is something that I would like to continue doing for as long as people enjoy it and for as long as I enjoy it. And unless I find a more fun game to make that type of content in, I can't ever see myself completely departing from TF2 one way or another. I do think eventually I'll want to start focusing on other games in some way, shape, or form, whether that's putting stuff on my main channel or a side channel or just doing live streams or whatnot. But again, it's hard right now for me to make a definitive judgment about what the best way to do this is. And on top of that, it's hard for me to even say what I'll want to do. I do have a couple ideas for non-TF2 related videos, but I'm just not sure whether people would even want to watch them. And I understand that, yes, eventually I'm going to have to take that risk, and I'm going to have to put something out that I don't have confidence in and just see how well it does. But at the moment, I don't know if that's what I would like to do, especially because there is something that's pretty low risk, but is also really fun, and I know I want to do, and I know people want to see, and it's like, I just don't know if right now is the best time to start branching out, I guess is what I'm attempting to say and all of that. But ultimately, that's something that I'm not going to have to figure out until a pretty long ways into the future, and I'm not too worried about it at the moment. Right now, if you have feedback for any of my channels, whether it's this one, my main channel preferably, the way that I do live streams, or even my side channel, Blue's Nest, this is a perfect time to throw it out there. I'll respond to all of the comments that I think I have a worthwhile response to, but even if I don't, there is a very high chance that I did read and consider your comment. The feedback doesn't have to be nice or mean or whatever, just, again, as long as it contains some sort of usable information, I appreciate it, and I'm also, again, just at the point where that sort of thing is helpful. So with that request for feedback, I will leave everyone to it. I will stop rambling, leave you to your day, and say that once again, I'm very grateful to everyone that has supported me up until now. Maybe I'll upload more on this channel. The reason why I stopped doing the regular goals videos is because, like, on top of not much changing per 3 months, I figured, like, maybe uploading my innermost insecurities for the whole internet to hear isn't the best idea long term. So I don't know. We'll see if my mind will change on that, but for now I think just doing channel related stuff as I think of it is probably the best way to handle that. And yeah, that's about it. Bye.